All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Commissioners held for the purpose of transacting the general business of the township. Today's date is May 11th, 2022. The meeting is held in the Springfield Township building. It's also being offered in a live streaming feature that will be made available on the township's website beginning tomorrow morning. Comments will not be accepted remotely, but instructions for submitting public comment in advance of tonight's meeting were provided as part of the posted agenda. Please stand and join the Board of Commissioners in a moment of silent reflection on the servicemen and women who place themselves in harm's way in order to preserve our safety at home and overseas. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would entertain a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting as written and recorded in the official minute book of the township.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the motion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote. I would like to acknowledge that we have 5 of our 7 commissioners here this evening. We are absent Commissioner Graham and Commissioner Cobb. And I would also announce that the Board of the Commissioners conducted an executive session as part of our May 9th, 2022 workshop meeting to discuss 1 personnel item, 2 real estate matters, and 1 item of litigation. The board also met immediately prior to this evening's meeting in order to continue discussions on a real estate matter. The board is now open to comments or questions from the public. The board draws particular attention to those items listed on the agenda this evening. Please be advised that once the committee reports begin, the board can no longer accept questions from the floor. At the conclusion of the committee reports, public comments will once again be accepted. However, official action on those issues listed on the agenda will have already taken place. Therefore, if you wish to comment on an agenda item, now would be the appropriate time. If you do come up to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. The floor is open for comment.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rachel Daly of 510 Hawes Lane. And I wanted to just come tonight to speak on behalf of the Harston Woods property on Hawes Lane. I don't live very far from there, and I have been following all the proceedings, regarding the property and what may or may not be done with it. But I just wanted to make time to come out and say that I moved to this county with my husband, to this township with my husband in August of 2019. And we specifically moved here because we liked, the aesthetic of the area. We love the schools, obviously for reasons that many people moved here. And since we moved here, we've actually been blessed with a daughter. My daughter's 14 months old. And so I'm just here to speak up on her behalf as someone who, may or may not get the opportunity to grow up in an area with a lot of, really well-aged trees and natural environment for her. It's really going to affect her clean air. It's really going to affect, just her ability to enjoy nature close to home. And in the storms of last July, we lost a major tree on our property, and also our 2 rear neighbors lost major trees on their property. And in the event of one afternoon storm, I lost 70% probably of the shade to my entire property, which has affected, my home heating and cooling bills as a consequence. So I just feel strongly to take time away from my family to come out this evening to just really implore you to think of the children of this township when it comes to the trees on this property and how they may be preserved, and also trees across the township. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Daly. Any other comments from the public? Mr. Curtin?
Good evening. Jim Marlin, Commander of the American Legion Post and the Veterans of Foreign War Post up in Winmore. First, I have to express a deep apology and some embarrassment, as in years past for our Memorial Day celebration and remembrance. We always provide you with letters well in advance of our intent to do the parade and the community day that ensues. Unfortunately, due to some family issues and stuff, time flew past me. And so tonight I'm coming with very embarrassed that I'm not as well prepared, or we have not been as well prepared as usual. I'm coming to speak to you to see, to get your permission to continue our 103rd Memorial Day remembrance and our parade and community day that ensues. I am preparing the letters to get them down here for official record, but we will follow the rules that we have always adhered to over the years in employing or paying for the overtime for an officer to be on site while we're doing the community day, shutting down the streets in preparation for the parade, using our own staff and Flourtown Fire Police and others to do traffic control. I'm also asking, as this board has always graciously granted for, I can't count how many years, the waiver for the use of the Veterans Park and for the one beer tent that we do put up. We do not charge anything for this entire day. Our costs are close to $28,000 to put this on, and it's for the community. We have the rides for the kids, of course, the lemonades, and the ice waters and the hot dogs and the bands. And again, I am embarrassed that I have not gotten these letters down to you before this, but circumstances, time flew past me. And so tonight I'm asking the board's permission to continue on this tradition that we have done in this community for 103 years. This will be the 103rd year, and almost 35 years in doing our community day. And I would ask the board's leniency for me not getting these letters down to you in time. The other items that we are required to do is, of course, I have the applications for from Parks and Recs, which will be delivered this week. We also are including, as usual, all of Springfield Township on our insurance binder for the event to meet all the requirements, and cover the township's interests. So that's, I know there's a million other things that we do put on that letter as far as the beer beverage, as we do not sell and or charge any admittance to this event. We are not required by LCB code to have an extension on our liquor license, and the township is also held not liable for anything. We do have a full staff that does monitor all the events within the park, and I can't think of all the other items that we normally put on the letter for you. So again, my deepest apologies for not getting these letters to you in time, but personal matters at home, literally the clock flew by and I got caught very short. So that is my request of the board, and I hope that you see fit to permit us to continue this great tradition of community and bringing the whole community together and making Springfield what Springfield is.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Marlin.
Thank you.
And don't lose a wink of sleep over the tardiness. We all got our moments.
No,
So no problem.
You all, some of you may not know me, but I've been doing this parade now for 35 years, and I've never missed a beat. And I guess age and family ties have finally caught up with me a little bit.
Yeah, don't
But
sweat it.
I I appreciate your consideration.
Great, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think we discussed this Monday. No objections, right?
No.
We're good to go.
This came to our attention after your Monday meeting, but I did give you a memo in that regard.
Okay.
And there's a motion tonight to do exactly what Mr. Marlin asked.
Yep.
I
Okay,
appreciate that.
great. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I haven't seen the motion, but I would respectfully suggest if the gentleman is okay with it, that the approval of the Board of Supervisors, Board of Commissioners, be conditioned upon receipt of such paperwork as the manager deems necessary, consistent with past years.
And you will receive all.
Great, thank you. Any other comments from the public? Go for it. Does it have to be what? I'm sorry. No, you can,
You
no.
can
go for
comment
it.
on anything.
My name is Linda Furlong. I live on Roche Avenue. And while I was walking my dog yesterday morning and coming back up the street, here's a nice dead rat. I saw something about Willow Grove. I don't, Brandon had, I don't, are they looking all over the township or what?
So there's been an extensive work being done with this through the county, and the township's been involved. We talked about this at length Monday. There were a number of sort of hot spots of nesting activity or burrowing activity, as it's called, in areas of Orland. So it's not surprising that, upon their homes being shaken up and exterminators coming out to handle it, that rats may go somewhere else.
Okay,
So-
because my neighbor at 301, he's already contracted an exterminator. So I don't know whether
Yeah.
this was a result because he found evidence in his yard,
Yeah.
of rat infestation.
Yeah, so there were a number of homes infected. There were some causes that were identified by the county, and letters went out both from the county and I think from us to those homeowners affected. And they've been following up, pretty much for the most part, have been cooperative, following up with exterminators. So again, if there was exterminating work done at that scale, it's not that surprising that they may run and see somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
but it is being dutifully,
Okay,
Investigate
yeah,
and
because
handle.
I know Brandon had told me to contact the township and they would give me the name of Willow Grove, whatever.
Yep, yep.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Mike, anything you want to add to that?
No, other than what Jim had said, and that, it's actually a community issue. Some of the causes were found to be feeding of wildlife, feeding of domesticated animals, open food. That's going to be an attraction to any kind of rodent or
Well, yeah.
wildlife. And improperly storing trash, you got to make sure you have it in sealed containers with tight fitting lids and no holes at the bottom, all of that stuff. Composting, if you have a yard compost,
No.
but you introduce food into it, that's going to definitely create a problem and an attractive nuisance. So just important to have good habits around the house and not to, as much as you might want to, feed the birds and feed, some of the wildlife, like refrain from that until we get a handle on this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Furlong. Any other comments from the public? Okay, the public comment period is now closed. We will start with our committee reports. And let's start with I am the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, and I have no report this evening. Commissioner Graham is absent for the Cultural Resources Committee, so we'll move to the Community Development Committee Chairman, Commissioner Standish.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I actually don't have a report vis-a-vis the Community Development Committee, but I'm going to pinch hit for Commissioner Cobb, the chairman of the Administrative Fiscal Affairs and Zoning Committee. So I'll just move this up a little bit in the agenda. So first of all, concerning the bill listing, I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the April check reconciliation in the amount of $823,461.86 and the May bill listing in the amount of $511,143.15. That is my motion.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Please record a unanimous vote.
Okay, and next, I would like to announce the Springfield Township Zoning Hearing Board will meet on Monday, May 23rd, 2022 at 7 PM at the Springfield Township Building. And I'm going to read a summary of all of the cases that are going to be presented at that time. There are quite a few of them. I'm going to sort of summarize these, but if anybody wants more detail, all the applications and plans are on file in the Code Enforcement Office and may be viewed during normal business hours. So let's see. First of all, case number 22-09. This is the application of Mr. Neil Rogo. He's the owner of property located at 8317 Childs Road in Winmore, Pennsylvania. And he's seeking a dimensional variance from section 114-135. And he is asking for, he's requesting approval for a 6-foot-high stockade fence that has recently been installed to be removed from the public way, I guess that should be right of way, and be relocated to the front property line. Next, case number 22-10. This is the application of Acela Rehab and Care Center, and that is located at 850 Paper Mill Road in Winmore. They are seeking a dimensional variance. And they are requesting approval to allow for freestanding ground-mounted sign of 36.66 square feet per side to allow as currently installed on the property. And zoning allows for a 20 square foot freestanding sign. So next, a case number 22-11, and that is the application of Michelle and Dennis Costuris Jr., and they own property at 310 Leicester Road in Orland, Pennsylvania. They are seeking a variance from section 114-12A13 of the code. They are requesting approval to construct a 310 square foot addition to the rear of their existing single family dwelling. And they say the variance is needed due to the fact that the site of the proposed addition is located within the limits of the floodplain as defined by FEMA. And then next is the Little Bird, it's case 22-12. It's the application of the Little Bird Nursery LLC. And they are requesting a special exception for the use of a portion of the building. And in the alternative, the applicant has also requested or will request a use variance from section 114-121A. And the applicant also requires a dimensional variance. So they're asking for quite a lot here. Section 114-134 for a required on-site parking. And they are also seeking approval to operate a daycare from the front portion of the existing building. The plan shows on-site drop-off in front of the building and an outdoor play area located on adjoining property located at 1121 Ivy Hill Road. So that's my announcement about those cases. And next, I have a motion concerning 1108-1110 Willow Grove Avenue. At the March 29th, 2022 meeting of the Zoning Hearing Board of Springfield Township, the board granted certain use, density, and dimensional variances to 1110 Willow Grove Avenue LLC in order to construct 12 townhomes at the properties located at 1108 to 1110 Willow Grove Avenue, Winmore. On April 28th, 2022, the Board of Commissioners was notified that the decision of the Zoning Hearing Board was appealed, and the board finds it in the best interest of the township to intervene in the appeal to defend the decision of the Zoning Hearing Board. Therefore, I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the Office of the Township Solicitor to intervene in the land use appeal to defend the decision of the Zoning Hearing Board for the properties located at 1108-1110 Willow Grove Avenue. And that is my motion.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Any questions or comments? I do have a question. What level of involvement would you, on behalf of the township, be in that appeal process? I mean, so the developer is required to defend that appeal as well.
Well, not required to, they can give up, but they're not going to.
Right.
But they're the beneficiary of the zoning hearing board's decision. So we would look to them to row the boat or
So
take
you're-
on all the
you're-
responsibility. I'll just join in their brief.
Okay, so you're providing the backup, essentially. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Please record a unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. That completes my report for tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Standish. We'll move to Peter Wilson, the Chairman of the Environmental Resources Committee.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Lee. Please report on the recycling this last month and announce that during the month of April 2022, Springfield Township residents recycled 146.2 tons of material with a householder participation rate of 63.2%. The net cost to the township was $14,606.63. I have another announcement with regarding Family Fun Day. Should like that right now or?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm pleased to announce that on Sunday, this Sunday, May the 15th, the Friends of Hillcrest Pond will be conducting their annual Family Fun Fish Day Clinic at Hillcrest Pond. The event includes prizes, games, food, and fun for the entire family. Fishing rods and bait will be provided for those who need it and is open to all residents younger than 15 and over 65? 62, okay. So the Family Fun Day begins this Sunday, 10 a.m. And concludes at 1 o'clock. It's a great time. Everything is provided. So get your youngsters and your oldsters out there and catch some fish. And they will have stocked the pond fresh for this event. So it should be a lot of hungry fish. My second announcement is regarding the native plant sale that is being sponsored by our very own Environmental Council, and that will take place on May 21st at the library from 12 to 2. And they're going to make available native wild native plants for sale at cost, very reasonable, no markup, at the library. So it's from 12 to 2. So please come out and support that for our EAC. That concludes my report, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. We will now move to the Chairman of the Public Works and Facilities Committee, Commissioner Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I have two announcements this evening. The first is in regards to the PennDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program. On Thursday, May 26, 2022, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation will conduct a presentation to the Springfield Township community to provide an overview of a federally funded highway safety improvement program project on Bethlehem Pike from Stenton Avenue in Springfield Township to Sunnybrook Road in White Marsh Township. The safety treatments proposed as part of this project include the full depth milling and resurfacing of the roadway, the conversion of Bethlehem Pike from a 4-lane roadway to a 3-lane roadway with a 2-way center left turn lane, modification to traffic signal phasing and timing, and the upgrade of traffic and pedestrian signal equipment. The proposed improvements are consistent with the recommendations of the Delaware Valley Planning Commission and are found in the township's 2012 comprehensive plan, a vision for 2025. The meeting will be conducted at the Springfield Township Administration Building beginning at 7 p.m. The meeting will also be live streamed and recorded for viewing at a later date. Next announcement I have is for 380-402 Halls Lane. At the May 9th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Commissioners, the board heard from several members of the Springfield Township community who continue to advocate for the preservation of the subject property for open space and environmental purposes. The board continues to discuss the possible acquisition and or condemnation of all or a portion of the subject property and plans to continue discussions in this regard over the next month. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Maxwell. We will now go to the Chairman of the Parks and Recreational Resources Committee, Commissioner Ratzavon.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just to intervene here, I have also here the no report from Commissioner Graham, who couldn't be here from the Cultural Resources Committee. So officially, there was no report from that committee. As for me, I have 3 motions tonight for everyone. First, I move that the Board of Commissioners reappoint Neil DeFranco and Sarah Hughes to new 3-year terms of service as members of the Springfield Township Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. The new 3-year terms of service shall expire on May 12th, 2025. Should I do them in turn or do them all?
Yep, each one individually.
Okay, so that's my first motion.
Okay, a motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Please record a unanimous vote.
And thank you to Neil and Sarah for your service. The next is a resolution number 1570. I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt resolution number 1570, a resolution authorizing an application to be submitted to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program for Phase 2 of the Walnut Avenue Trail Project. The estimated cost of the project is $350,000, for which the township is requesting $250,000. That is my motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote.
And finally, for Memorial Day, I move that the Board of Commissioners grant permission to the Arthur V. Savage American Legion Post of Winmore to utilize Veterans Park for a Community Day event following the annual Memorial Day Parade and to serve beer at the park as a part of the event. The permission is granted subject to the following: that the American Legion Post secures a permit for the use of the park, that the post hires a police detail to be at the park while beer is served, and the post secures an insurance rider for the day's events, naming Springfield Township as additional insured, and that paperwork will follow per the guidance of our attorney here. Memorial Day 2022 will be observed on Monday, May 30th. The parade will begin at 9:30 a.m. on Willow Grove Avenue near Traymore Avenue. The Community Day festivities will be held from approximately 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that is my motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Good.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote.
And I just wanted to,
Go ahead. Mr. Marlin wants to say something.
oh, sure.
I'm sorry, correction. The parade starts at Elm Avenue in Willow Grove. And the parade does start at 9:30 a.m. However, the community day is going from noon till 3. And we will vacate the park by.
So let me just read that correction for everyone's benefit. The parade does start at 9:30 a.m. It'll start at Elm Avenue near Willow Grove. And the Community Day festivities will be held from noon to 3, after which everyone will vacate. So that's for everyone's benefit. That's again, Monday, May 30th. And I just want to say, as a resident of Winmore and a military family, thank you for all of your contributions, and specifically to you, Commander Marlin, for 35 plus years of putting this together. So looking forward to it.
Great, thank you.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Commissioner Ratzavon. At this point, our committee reports are completed, so we will now open up the floor to any further public comment. Please, one at a time, do not rush the microphone. Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay. I will accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments on adjourning the meeting? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, say nay. Please record a unanimous vote and see you later.
Thanks, everyone.